Welcome to another episode of the Gulenko.com recruitment and business show. I record these completely unscripted while walking around, usually after the gym. This episode is about salary negotiation, a topic that can basically be talked about for hours. I will try to extract the most important points and tell them to you. These points are based on 10 years of recruitment experience and several years of being a job seeker myself, an employee myself, and contributing to society and businesses in basically all functions that you can think of. Being a working student, regular employee, and now basically a business owner of a recruitment company that still is on the market after 10 years. This you cannot say for many other businesses. All right, let's hop right in. Salary negotiation, the most important things. Usually the salary talk starts when you hand in your resume, when you start the conversation, and similar moments, right? You want to immediately communicate what you think you are worth. Are you a student and you get like a junior salary? Are you like basically a business owner who now wants to go back to being an employee and you want to, have adequate compensation, which means on the higher end of the spectrum. So some people even include their salary wish on their resume, which I find not the dumbest idea. Actually, it's quite smart if the right person is looking at it. Having the salary in front of me is very helpful. It is a big request on the market for companies to display the salary range on the job advertisements. Well, since we are all adults, it should be symmetrical, right? So why don't you put it on the resume? Well, the downside is if the wrong people see it, this might cause worries or wrong thoughts. For example, if your coworkers that are also obviously assessing you to have you join them as a colleague, they might think, what the hell, this person is asking for like double the money I make. And obviously business owners don't want this confusion. There is a whole discussion on that topic. Should everybody know the salaries of the other people? Let's leave it at that. My gut feel is first the business owner should look at it because business owners generally understand that nothing is set in stone, right? It is the same with clients. Like you name one price and then at the end of the day, you only get paid much less selling your services in a B2B environment. So the salary which communicated on the CV is one way, very, let's say, direct. The other way would be to say how much you want to be earned in the first call, in the first discussion. So this is the moment where just the business owner wants to like weed out the people that ask for like double the money that is in the budget or something like that in a serious way, right? So you want to talk to only people who are like, sane in their head. People often think that this is like kind of, this will be used against you in the future. And I have not seen serious attempts for having this information being used against the candidate such that, well, it can't be changed, right? Let's say you ask for 120K. There is many, many instances in our recruitment history where people ended up with 140K, right? For example, or they ended up with less than what they asked. So basically the discussion is about like finding some number where it's plus minus 20%. This will be probably the salary you'll be getting, right? So then you usually go through the interview process and the next moment where usually the salary talk continues is before the signature. And I believe this is the most important moment because there you can make many, many, many mistakes, but also many, many, many correct things. So a mistake, for example, would be, let's say you're earning like 1K, right? And then you ask for like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like 1K, right? It's like in percentage terms, this is so like, why, like then you come off as like, in German we say kleinlich, that's like narrow, I don't know how to remind it maybe. Yeah, that you like, look for like the wrong stuff actually. And especially if you're in the higher salary ranges, this like displays very negatively against you, right? Because it's like, okay, this is like a manager type of guy. Why would they like, why they're not capable of actually estimating their worth and then, wasting the time of everybody for like 2K more. What other things we have usual, right? So usually in the last moment before the signature, people might ask for like a serious improvement, right? They might ask for more vacation days, for more like higher, I don't know, base salary. Obviously, this is the most normal thing to ask for. And it can make sense, right? If you can describe, okay, hey, look, I can hit the ground running. I have this one thing I'm really good at, Java, and you obviously use that, and I really can, I even know the exact frameworks. It's Spring. I use Spring like until today every day. I really can hit the ground running. I can, help this team to do that. So if you ask for something, right, this is kind of annoying in general in life. So if you can, package it such that you say something before that makes sense to the person, and then you ask for the thing that you want, and then you again say something nice. This would, soften the blow. For example, yes, I know Java Spring. I do it until like yesterday, today, and I want it's 110K instead of 100K because, well, I really think I can benefit the company like in exactly this stuff you're doing right now, the exact project, and really my goal is to stay a long time. The last company didn't work out that well because like they had economic reasons, so really my goal is to not have another quick job. So describe that, your motivation to really continue as a loyal employee for a long time, or that you're super something positive. So the person on the other end really tries basically to de-risk the situation. They are not trying to scam you or something like that, because people always think that, right? It's like, oh, business owners, they try to rip off these poor workers and then pay them less and then make so much money. This is not what business owners that are like not, bankrupt or about to get bankrupt, they have in their head. They have in their head, okay, like I need this work done. Clients pay me X. I have this amount of risk. How can I pay someone reasonably so they stay with me and not go away after 3 months for somebody who pays more, and have a good time, basically. So this is how business owners think, right? They don't have time to be like evil, value destructors, right? In a more or less free market, this is not how things work, okay? So, all right. So basically, the salary is negotiated in quite aggressive terms before the signature, usually, right? And if you cannot get anything for things that you value, for example, vacation days, higher base salary, higher promised bonus, because in work contracts, bonuses are often stated in vague terms, right? And then you can make the vague terms just the numbers go up, or stock options if it's a startup. Then this is also something that usually companies are most flexible in, because this doesn't cost them nothing now, right? This was not good English, but it's okay. You understood the point. So, but it must be valuable to you, right? You must actually, the best negotiation moment in the salary negotiation situation is that you find something that for you is ultra valuable, but for them it's costs nothing. For example, if the business has anyway no business around, let's say Christmas, right? And you really value 2 more weeks off, around that, you just say, okay, can we have this, but unpaid, for example, or paid, or even better. So it's extra vacation during that specific time. Anything that you can. So basically, that's why you have to keep this is so stressful, right? You have to really, really, really know the offer and the company and what is included in the whole possible realm of possibilities. That's why recruitment agents that really know their clients are worth something, because they can in a split second tell you, okay, why don't you ask for X, right? Instead of just going around in circles and thinking, this offer is not so good. I would love to have more, but blah. So this doesn't help anybody, right? If you are in a bad mood and you are incapable of asking actually what you want. All right. Then the last thing during the salary negotiation moment is, okay, I asked for 110K, but you are incapable of offering that, dear boss, company, business owner. How about in 3 months, we raise it by 10K? This is actually something that always should be done, right? If you're a motivated, let's say, person, right? Doesn't matter if you're junior or senior or mid-level. Usually the juniors and mid-levels should do that, because they are having this energy. And they can also the growth can be biggest, right? If the seniors and leads, they're often a little bit too lazy and already getting quite good packages. it's a bit harder, but actually also there is more stuff to address, so it could be done for anybody. So you should ask, okay, okay, could we like discuss this in 3 months, or is this like too early? Right? And it could be maybe in 6 months or 12 months. So the smaller the company, the less structure and processes is around salary raises and negotiation. In bigger companies, you have like, okay, once a year we talk about this. Then you have inflation adjusted, some ridiculous 2% or whatever automatic raise, which is like whatever, right? So you should always try to find a way that is fitting to the company you're talking to. So a smaller company, usually there should be like a way to make it very individual, right? So you can already set the stone, the valuable, let's say, moment for you, right? Into 3 months, 6 months, 12 months into the future that, okay, should I be useful to the company in A, B, C way? We will raise the salary. And usually the business owner would agree to that, right? If you do not do this now, it will be much harder later. And good business owners actually do that themselves. So we had an employee now, I had this discussion, now 2 months passed, so we are discussing, right? And in this discussion, actually what popped up was, like the person asked for like, let's say 20% more, and then they, in the next sentence said, but I don't even know actually if I'm worth to you what you're paying now, so I'm really unsure, but like, I should be earning more. And then it made me think that actually, unless it's a job where it's like a trader or a salesperson where there's very clear like processes where it's like, okay, you sold this much, automatically this is the bonus you get on your bank account. Or traders where it's like, okay, exactly the same. It's like a machine. Basically, the bonus or compensation is decided like by a machine, not a person. Every other case, like without exception, it's usually gut feel, right? So the business owner has a gut feel about the value of the person. The better person has a personal opinion, right? So what's happening is usually those two must meet, right? Because again, the business owner wouldn't exist if they wouldn't have to add risk to management and their own work, labor to the whole thing. Otherwise, the employee could just run the business themselves, right? So there's so especially with developers, but basically it's with probably any job, right? It's very hard to attribute direct contribution to the business for a employee, because by definition the employee solves a very clear set of tasks, like a reply to this, copy paste this cell into this other cell in Excel, right? I mean, I'm doing super stupid examples, but actually the definition of an employee is that there's like a set of algorithms they have to fulfill, and of course add their intelligence to that, and their skills and their knowledge and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, every business owner will agree to me that it is the gut feel of the business owner that is based on obviously what other people are getting in salaries, and the employee's gut feel. What does it mean? It means obviously that personalities who like tend to like overestimate themselves and like, oh, I'm so amazing, blah blah, they tend to get paid more because they constantly will actually ask. Because the business owner is way too busy, unless it's like a big company where there's processes, where like, okay, now you do the, employee management, thinking of this. Most businesses are not like that. They're the business owner, the 100% of the like mental, how to say, like mental effort is going towards customers, like selling and making money. Everything else is operations, and 99% of companies, they're extremely bad at operations because this is not what makes them money. Operations actually, like, this is your cost, right? This is like the website, like, taking care and, like updating Windows and, this is very, not on the mind of a business owner and probably a middle manager in a like middle-sized firm. So you have to make the effort as an employee, unfortunately, but there's obviously ways to make it like reasonable and ways makes not reasonable. I think the golden standard way would be to like send a written text, hey, look, this things I did well. We should talk about compensation. This is my suggestion. I'll call in the next like meeting we have. I will address this, right? So you make a mix, right? You can make the boss have brainstorm about this, and at the same time already like prepare yourself. Another option would be just to make it, a meeting, casually bring it up. or set a meeting and try to discuss this. But there must be the verbal, audio, personal meeting is the best type of situation. Otherwise, if you just ask it in an email without like this, hey, I'll like, approach you next time about this. It should be like the written communication should be that there is no written answer needed, because this puts stress on the business owner. The last thing you want is to put stress on the business owner if you're like asking for stuff. So obviously choose also a moment where you can discuss something that you did in a good way, right? It's like basically you're saying, okay, last week, look, I really took the effort, like, and did these 3 things, which were, I think, a little bit out of my usual contribution to the company. Could be discussed that we like adapt the compensation a little bit, would be amazing. If you have no time, that's fine, but like I will like address this question of me in the next like, conversation we have. No action needed from you right now. And then the boss is happy. I can tell you that. So basically, this you can do no matter how long you're at the company, right? 3 months, 3 years, 30 years, but it must come from you, and there must be some effort like given, right? And then of course the question is, okay, how to grow otherwise, right? You can grow even more in a company. You can become responsible for a whole segment of the business, right? So much as that you might become shareholder in the business. And then we are talking about another story, right? Then you're leaving the employee realm and then you're entering the realm where you are actually taking also risk. Because this is the reason why there is a clear thinking pattern for business owners and for employees, right? The employee that never has surprise attacks from instance outside the company. The employee literally just deals with the business owner, gets a salary, and does certain activities. This is like what people cannot like apparently understand if they're not, ever in the situation. So I think I was a student. My first student job, I got like 10 euros per hour or something, and it was a programming job. I asked, hey, can you, because I had already money from like other stuff I did, and I was like, okay, can you like not pay me the 10 euro per hour, but like give me like bonus of the of the like work we do. It was like programming stuff, and the business owner laughed. Like he's like, yeah, I understand what you're talking about is very hard. He doesn't even he didn't even say this is really hard. He just laughed, and then like we switched topics, because obviously this guy has no now thinking back, right? This guy has no time to even reply to this because of all the things that I just talked about. There's so many like aspects that are be addressed in like this whole pre-compensation stuff. Yeah, we could go now to topics about why companies actually pay other companies to do stuff, but this would be like even a longer conversation. Yeah. So I think you got the point. Salary negotiation should start as early as possible to give like a reasonable range what you want to be earning. Then it should continue into more concrete terms with a starting salary, with a direct possibility to jump, right? Because if I saw this too, like business owners would promise like a salary increase in like 1 year, and it didn't happen. They wouldn't even talk about this. And obviously this is where we come in, right? The candidates are so pissed, they 100% want to change jobs, right? Because like expectations, serious expectations are not fulfilled, and there's nothing more that pisses people more off than that. So as a business owner, if you cannot like raise a salary, you should explain it and like really say, is this okay for you? Like, did you understand why we cannot do this? And there sometimes even could be like a yes from the employee, like, yes, I understand, but actually they don't, they hate you. So there's like so much nuance that you have to take into account in this. So basically, again, second is like immediately ask for what we can do about increasing after 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, whatever is reasonable. And then constantly think about what you can do more, or the stuff you do, why is that so good that like the business owner should shift their valuable thinking budget that is directed to clients to you, right? Because only because the business owner nonstop thinks about clients, this is why you get a salary. Like never never forget that. Only because the business owner thinks about clients all the time, 3 a.m., weekends, this is why you get a stable salary. And people who are not thinking this way, like employees, I guarantee you, the business owner can feel that. That this is a person who's asking themselves, why does the business owner, bills the client 200 francs per hour, but I get only 80? Or something like that, right? And this is unfair. But at the same time, these people are too lazy or incompetent or whatever else to actually just go. Quit the job and try to bill the client 200 francs per hour. If you're that convinced that this is unfair, well, there's a, signature under a paper saying I leave and bye. But you can't be have the cake and eat it too. There you go. A little bit, maybe too harsh note, but to all the good employees that actually understand that, there's an exchange, right? And you should make the exchange as professional as possible. And professional means that you respect the other person's effort, being personally liable for whatever not also, right? So you can feed your children and family on a very stable, flow of income. If you are not happy with, the stable flow of income, do not go for employment, start your own business. You can be your own boss and bill clients whatever you want, right? But as long as you're an employee, you have to, I'm not saying undersell yourself, anything like that. You should make the biggest effort to get the biggest amount of money you can as an employee. But do it in a way that is pleasant to other people on whom you rely. And then you will get whatever you want. On that note, have a good rest of the day.